Hey, what's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I am Toshina, and in this video I'll be discussing my bunion surgery and recovery.
A bunion is a lump of bone on the knuckle of your big toe. A bunion can cause discomfort, pain, swelling and redness in and around the big toe. If left untreated, it can make walking difficult. You'll be given a general anesthetic. This means you'll be asleep during the operation and feel no pain. Cuts will be made in the foot. Your surgeon will remove the part of the bone that is protruding. The first metatarsal bone will also be cut and repositioned to help straighten the foot. Your surgeon may also reposition the ligaments and tendons within your foot. The bone is fixed into place with screws, wire or staples while your foot heals. The cuts are closed with stitches and a dressing is placed over your foot.
So I decided to do the surgery because I feel like it was affecting my way of life. I'm on my feet all day. I'm in the gym almost every other day, and constantly throughout the day I'll feel this random throbbing on the bone. You can see the bone on the outside of my shoe. No matter what shoe I wear, you can see it press through, and it's not very pretty. It is very painful. So that was my main reason of doing that. I am young, I am healthy, so recovery will be twice as faster than if I do it in the future. And if I don't do it now, it will ultimately get worse. So waking up from surgery, I didn't feel any pain at all. My foot was completely numb. I mean completely numb. I would say from my ankle all the way through was numb. Went home, they wrapped up my feet pretty well and put me in a surgical shoe. Not a boot, a shoe. And in the shoe, the bottom is just completely hard. Completely hard. And with this, I probably wore this for like a week. I had that on for a week before my doctor transitioned me into this boot. Pretty protective. There's cushions all around. Strap them up, and then with this one, this is kind of fancy, y'all. Like with this button, I just inflate it, and it kind of inflates cushions all around the ankle to protect the foot in the boot. To protect the foot in the boot. There you go. The first day after surgery, walking on my heel was no big deal, only because the anesthesia kind of like knocked all the pain out where I didn't feel anything. The next day, baby, getting up, putting my foot in the surgical shoe just to get up and use the restroom, walking on my heel was horrible. The pressure on the foot, it felt so weird. I did put all my pressure on my heel, but it just gave this weird tugging feeling. Imagine like a muscle. Every time I put pressure on my heel, I felt as if it was pulling where the incision was. When I was on my heel, it was more of the muscles and the tissue and the skin around where the incision was made. It was horrible. So thankfully, my mother had the surgery a month and a half before I did, so she has a walker here. I was using the walker for about a week just to simply get around the house. So I was just limping around on one foot, pretty much, like a little old lady. Well, old ladies don't hop. Old ladies don't hop. So I was just using the walker as a knockoff crutch. With my prescription, my doctor provided me 2 different medications, which was, one was an anti-inflammatory, I don't remember the name, and the other one was Percocet. Towards the end of that week, I returned back to my doctor. And that's when he put me into this boot. So I was supposed to stop using the shoe and start using this. So anytime I had to get up and walk around, I had to put on the boot. I was not supposed to put any pressure on the foot without it being in the boot, because the bone itself takes a little bit longer to heal. He told me it takes an estimate of 6 weeks for recovery, but everyone heals differently. So last week I got my stitches taken out. Pretty gross. In my mind, how I envisioned it, I thought it was going to be mad painful because, come on, you're pulling the stitches out. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would have been. I did experience a very light stinging. Now, when I did get home that night, when I took the compression sock off, I did notice the incision at the top did start to open. I freaked the fuck out. I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. Thankfully, I did have my doctor's number. I texted him, I sent him a picture, and I was like, hey, is this normal? He just told me to come back in the next morning. He'll take a closer look at it. Thankfully, there was no pus. It was just a little watery, a little blood. They didn't stitch me back up. Thank God. That was like my biggest fear. I did not want them to stitch it back up. He just gave it a little ointment, a spray. He provided me with some gauze and some band-aids and sent me on my way. So it's now been 4 weeks, well, 4.5 weeks in since my surgery. I'm still in the boot for the most part, but I am able to stand up without the boot. Around the house, I can somewhat walk without the boot, but taking very slow and steady steps. I can't completely flex it how I can with my right. If I was to put my feet next to each other, this foot could flex just fine, but the left foot where I had the surgery is doing this. It's doing this if I try to wiggle it. So it doesn't flex all the way through. The rest of the toes are able to move, but the big toe is just like this. Like it's barely moving. So to prevent stiffness moving forward, I was instructed to kind of like work it out a little bit throughout the day, pretty much give myself therapy. It is pretty stiff, to be honest. Like I feel the stiffness. For the most part, the swelling has gone down. I don't have as much swelling as I did the first 2 weeks, but swelling is still here, especially if I'm on my feet for over 30 minutes. I will see swelling in my toes and under my foot. What I will continue to do, Elevate and Ice, I'm going to continue my personal physical therapy, flexing the foot back and forth, walking and getting kind of used to my foot being out the boot. But when I leave the house, of course, I always put the boot on. I was able to slide my foot in a few slides, like my little slippers. I'm not able to slip my feet in any of my sneakers. I do have to go shopping. I might have to go shopping for some new shoes. Naturally, I am a busybody person, so this recovery process has been mentally and physically challenging for me. What has been keeping me grounded throughout these past few weeks was creating a routine where I get up, make my bed, meditate, make myself some tea, I grab a book, and enjoy my morning out back. I've been off of social media since the first week of my surgery, allowing more time and energy to pour back into myself. All right, so I don't want this video to be a long video and I feel like I've been rambling, so I'm just gonna cut it right here. I am pretty hungry. It looks like my feet are starting to get a little swollen, so I'm gonna have to go Elevate and Ice these babies. I hope you're able to find this video helpful, especially if you or someone you know may be getting ready to have a bunion surgery, or you're probably going through the recovery process. So with that being said, it has been a pleasure. So thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Be good, be nice, be easy. Bye, 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 bye.